All right, what is going on, collective? Welcome back to the channel, Elevated Spirits. It's Jazi, your favorite Kelly reader. This is going to be your message from Jupiter, okay? I was guided to do this for all the signs, but I am going to start with the collective because the collective is all the signs. All of us as individuals are still all the signs. So, it does take time on the journey to, come to that acceptance, that awareness. So, that's why I'm starting off with the collective though, kind of like as a whole. Okay. And then I'll do individuals. And so, today is Thursday. Today is the day of Jupiter. So that's why I'm starting off with the collective on the day of Jupiter. So we're going to already have some cards pre-shuffled that are already out that I did on a time lapse that you obviously see before you get to this part of the video. Just so you can see that I laid them all out. I have not looked at any of them yet. So it's going to be a surprise for me as it is for you. And then after I go through the beginnings of the cards, I will clarify them with tarot on each row. So we're going to start off with pre-shuffled card from Jupiter about what the collective, let me see. I wrote all the questions out that were channeled to me about this. So what aspect can the collective work on that will have the best positive impact? Okay, so what can the collective from Jupiter? All these messages are from Jupiter, so the energy of Jupiter. So for those that are unaware or maybe, have forgotten, Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of good luck, good fortune, increase, expansion, growth, generosity, excess, defense, compassion, belief, abundance, wealth, wisdom, self-improvement, protection, popularity, opportunity, magnetism. Okay, so those are just some of the aspects, a good chunk of aspects that Jupiter represents and corresponds with. So this is the shadow work that, in Jupiter's opinion, can have that the collective can work on that will have the best positive impact. So that card happens to be, Dare to Dream. Okay, so Dare to Dream. Such a beautiful card. I love this deck. This is the Threads of Fate Shadow Edition. I've had this deck for years. I just don't use it that often. So, but that is about to change because this channel is all about, which I am going to do a video update letting you guys know the changes that I'm making to the channel. Kind of like a reintroduction to the channel, what this channel is really based off of, what it was based off of, and what it's still going to be based off of. So let's find Dare to Dream. So that is a air aspect. So this has to do with your thoughts, the way you see things. So this is the eagle. That's what the animal representation there is, the eagle's claw. That's kind of like grabbing, So let's see. A huge part of attaining what we desire is the ability to visualize it. Continue to use your imagination while showing up for what is right in front of you, even if you can't see how they connect. So I feel like for some of you, this is basically not limiting yourself to the biggest. So the biggest impact, best positive impact that this can have if the collective, works on this is daring to dream. Basically, doing your shadow work around what you think is possible for you, what you feel like you can have. If there are limiting beliefs that you have surrounding what you think is possible, or what people have, maybe the projections that maybe family or, people that you've dealt with in the past, friends, doesn't matter what the connection was, even teachers that may have tried to limit you, to try to tell you that maybe you're dreaming too big, maybe you're asking for too much. Maybe has there been connections that have maybe told you or made you feel like you're asking for too much, but you know what it is that you deserve. You know that you deserve, to have good things, to have whatever it is that you want to experience in this lifetime. So I feel like, it would make the best positive impact here is doing, shadow work around what that is for you, what that means for you, what's maybe stopping you or stagnating you or limiting you to, towards what you feel like you can have, what is possible for you, right? And, we all know that within the word impossible is I'm possible. So it's two words actually. So within that word, that one word is two words, I'm possible. So with everything so it's like, the duality, right? Of everything that feels impossible is also an opportunity that you are possible, that is very possible. So that's kind of like the contrast. It's just a matter of how you choose to see it, right? That's also a perspective in itself. Is the word impossible, does it, when you see that word, do you see I'm impossible or do you see I'm possible, right? So just something to consider. All right. So first row that we're starting off with. So I got 3 questions here, and then some cards that I pulled that I haven't looked at yet. That are from, these are supportive messages of support, basically from the collective's most benevolent and highest evolved ancestors and spirit guides. So stuff that can help the collective, that can like kind of push us forward, give us that nudge of support that some of us may be really needing at this time, that feel like maybe, you know, that some of us feel like we don't have, especially if like for those that have lost someone, you know, to transition, and you know that would normally support your dreams, or that you would normally go to talk about certain things to, that are no longer here. This is, you know, messages that are what those messages are for. Okay, so basically support from the ethers that, you know, we could all use at this time. So, and another reason why I was guided to do this reading is because the moon is waning right now. Okay, we just had a full moon on the 28th. I believe it was a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, for those that follow Western astrology. So this is, so the moon is waning right now. So waning moon, the waning phase of the moon is basically for releasing, getting rid of things, identifying, like acknowledging what is no longer working in order to make room and adjustments for what does work, or make room and adjustments for, you know, what we do want, you know, making room for the new, releasing the old to make room for the new type of thing. So first row is covering what Jupiter is asking the collective to release. Okay, so let's get into that. Ooh, so we have unfinished symphony. This is interesting how this came out like this. That's wild. Okay. All right, Jupiter. We starting off strong already, you guys. So we have unfinished symphony. So for some of you, this has to do with a connection. And then we have earn here, loss. Some of you could be a Cancer, card 5 here. So the 5 represents change. It could represent conflict. So for some of you, this is something that could have been a breakup, or something that maybe has ended, but maybe the lesson hasn't been fully integrated yet. Okay. That's why for some of you, this unfinished symphony is kind of like meaning that even though something has ended, the cycle maybe isn't completely wrapped up yet. Okay. So that's not going to be for everyone, but for some of you, this could also have to do with the death. Like we just talked about, I said that, and here it comes again. So for some of you, this is exactly what this is talking about. Maybe a connection, or like a relationship. It could be a parent, grandparent, doesn't matter. Someone who maybe has transitioned that some of you are still dealing with. Some of you are still, or maybe have put your dreams aside or set them aside, because of, you know, what has happened. Some of you are still in that grieving process. So what I'm getting here is Jupiter is kind of encouraging the collective, whoever is, you know, this message is for, is, you know, allow yourself to grieve, but at some point, you know, we have to, don't let yourself sit in that energy too long, basically, right? Because when we sit there, you know, it's good. It's always good to, that's like the best way to really truly transmute our pain and our challenges, is by actually sitting with that energy, and allowing yourself to feel what you feel. But it's when we wallow in it, when we perpetuate it, when we keep it going, it's like after that feeling passes and then you bring it back up and you go back to it. And then it passes and you come back to it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, let yourself process what you need to feel about it, and then do your best to set it aside and leave it. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, move away from it and accept what has happened. If it's a loss, it is done. You know what I'm saying? Something has ended, something is over, whether this is a breakup or, like I said, an actual, you know, transitional death. This isn't to say that because you're deciding to move on from a situation that you don't care anymore, or that you don't love them anymore. That's not what that means at all. But it is allowing yourself, giving yourself that freedom that you deserve to continue your life, to continue to move forward. So I feel like for some of you, collective, something has maybe ended recently, or some of you are going through a breakup. For some of you, this eclipse has caused endings of connections that have, you know, that either are coming to, you know, like this is going to be happening, where some of you are being asked to release someone that, you know, maybe things have just been kind of like going on and nothing is changing. For some of you, this has already happened. So, you know, this is a general reading, definitely general, especially being a collective. So, you know, like I said, take the rest of the messages as they apply to your unique situation. This is not going to be for all of you, nor is it meant to be. So this is just an opportunity for you to use your intuitive muscle, exercise your own level of discernment, right? To determine the messages that are yours and those that you can leave for someone else. Okay. So, but yeah, this is like, I feel like some of you are being also asked, like, if there's like say, for example, this has to do with an environment. Okay. For some of you, it's an environment that, some of you are like maybe still learning the lessons, or maybe you're trying to leave a situation or leave an environment, but maybe you're still there because the lesson that maybe you're meant to learn has not been fully learned, or it's not fully integrated, meaning that what a situation has taught you, but you haven't integrated the changes to maintain the lesson. Some of you are still going back to like study notes, you know what I'm saying, or trying to retake a test you already passed, type of energy. That's also what that can represent. So for some of you, the 10, like I said, this is something that is definitely done, something that is done and over with, but some of you are still having a hard time releasing it. Okay, the 10 represents a new start, a new beginning, a new chapter. The 9 represents completion. The 10 is the new beginning, because the 1 represents the new start, while the 0 is infinite. It's never ending. So that's always going to be there. So the 1 represents actually the new start. So I feel like some of you, Jupiter is asking you at this time to release, something that I feel like some of you already know is over, something that is done, whether this is a connection that maybe that has already went through a breakup or a divorce or whatever that is. This could, for some of you, be a connection that you have been maybe trying to keep the door open on, but needs to end. You've outgrown that connection, and just maybe have been having a hard time releasing it out of comfort or out of habit, codependency, whatever that might be. Spirit is asking, Jupiter is asking, us to release that. Okay. And like I said, for those of you that are still mourning a death or a loss, for some of you, this is something that happened years ago, and some of you are still, feeling it, or allowing yourself to feel it, or, grieve as if it was just yesterday, type of energy. So it's like some work needs to be done around that for you to be able to move on and to really step into, I feel like, the dream, life that some of you are, waiting to live and have. Okay. So, so next question is, what's challenging the collective? So we have Message in a Bottle, card 15, and another 5. Holy shit. Okay, synchronicity is all fucking ready. I'm going to show you because there's a couple of them here. So first of all, card 15, Message in a Bottle, and then we have Book Burning, Libra. So for some of you, could be dealing with the Libra, have Libra in your chart, who we're talking about. If this is, like I said, a connection for some of you, this could be a Libra or a Cancer energy. So the synchronicities that we have here, for one, is both these cards that have come out so far are both 5s. Okay. We already talked about 5s represent change, conflict, things that are maybe difficult, challenges. Okay. 5 and a 5 equals 10. Okay. This card is a 10. Now, these two cards came out together before I even flipped these over. 10 and a 5 represents a 15. Okay. This is card 15. So we have 15, 15 here. We have 10, 10, 5, 5. All right. So I'll take the synchronicities as they might apply. All right. So collective, what is challenging you is, some of you have been getting signs about this, but you've been ignoring it. Okay. Some of you have been kind of like trying to silence it, have been, kind of like in a sense limiting yourself because of what needs to happen, but due to the discomfort of it, or the lack of faith in maybe what the future has on the other side of that, has been keeping you stuck. It's making things more challenging. Some of you maybe have been some of you have been getting the signs or the synchronicities. The universe has been giving you the nudges about what to do about a situation, or maybe how to free yourself from a situation, but some of you are limiting yourself. Okay. Some of you, it's the narrative that, like, the story that you're telling yourself, the story that you're telling behind a situation. You know what I'm saying? Is what's maybe keeping this unfinished symphony where it's at, instead of letting something end and actually be over, and so you can move forward to the next, phase. It's like you guys it's like you're perpetually keeping something open, maybe whether you know it or not, consciously or subconsciously. Some of you, it's staying open because of the narrative, meaning the story that you're telling behind the situation. So some of you might really benefit, for those of you that know how to, or have access to, get into the Akashic records. That is a great way to, rewrite a story, rewrite a particular event, right? To basically for the outcome to be what you would prefer versus what actually happened. Okay. by changing that, by allowing yourself, going into the Akashic records and rewriting a story, rewriting a particular, like, let's say, for example, scene in a movie, it will change the whole story and have a different outcome, right? So some of you might benefit from doing that. But some of you also are maybe not ending something or having a hard time letting something go out of fear of what's going to happen afterwards. If I break up with them, am I going to be punished? How am I going to be punished, or what's going to happen after that? Some of you, there's a fear here of being silenced or in some type of way, or being persecuted in some type of way. Okay. And I feel like some of you, Spirit has, been giving you signs that you're fine, that you'll be protected. But some of you are, it's again, the narrative. It's your mind playing tricks with you in a situation. Now, for others of you, if this, like I said, has to do with the person that is still living, and it could still apply to someone who has transitioned, but, for those of you where this person, I'll start with the person, if this is like a connection of someone that's still living, for some of you, this person is very manipulative, meaning that this person has a way of maybe using your own emotions against you. And so for some of you are maybe having a hard time breaking up with someone, leaving someone, or disconnecting from a situation that is stifling, is holding you back in some type of way. But there's a fear here of, this person manipulating you into pulling you back in some type of way, or they've manipulated you to a point where you're scared to leave. 1616 on the timer. Okay. So obviously take the messages as they apply, but that for some of you is what's, creating blockages here in your growth, in your expansion. For some of you, is blocking your finances and your money, because that's also what Jupiter represents, is, income, increase, right? Wealth, prosperity, legacy, things like that. So for some of you, if you're feeling like your finances are being blocked, or your money is slow to come in, things like that, this situation for some of you is definitely playing a part. And that's why I feel like, I was channeled to guided to do this reading for you guys. So for, some of you, like I said, you already know what's happening, but this is your confirmation. For some of you, this is, it's challenging, but for some of you, this is, you've been asking for signs, you've been asking for the universe to, help you, point you in the right direction. What do I need to do? What the fuck's going on? Why do I feel so blocked? Why is my money just, stop coming in? Why does it feel like everything I'm trying to work towards, or, put effort into, it just isn't working? Whatever that is, some of you, it's telling you exactly what's going on here. Okay. But, some of you, it's about changing. You're needing to rewrite the story, rewrite the history. You know what I'm saying? So meaning, like, if you, for example, had a parent that maybe transitioned and is no longer here, that could be what this is talking about. And they maybe manipulated you into believing that, you would only be this good at this, or you would only get this far in life, or whatever the fuck, kind of crazy projection that some of us have experienced. This is an opportunity where Spirit is telling you what to do, that you need to rewrite that story. You need to rewrite history. You know what I'm saying? Deciding that I know that that's the cards I was dealt, but I'm gonna make myself a new deck. That's what I personally did, right? It wasn't like I went a step further. I didn't just reshuffle my cards and give myself a new set of cards, right, for life. I gave myself a whole brand new fucking deck. So for me, that was something that helped me, treating my life in that sense. So for some of you, you might benefit in doing the same thing. Basically, you may be feeling challenged in maybe receiving maybe the messages that Spirit is giving you. But for some of you, it's like, it's definitely possible, but you're letting your mind play tricks on you. You're letting your mind, I feel like, run the show here, instead of letting your heart, or, channeling your higher self to help you make decisions. Okay. So, and what is Jupiter's potential solution? Potential is the word I use because free will is a thing. So you can take the advice, heed the call, or not. The decision is yours, and therefore the results and outcome based on your decisions is also yours. So this is Jupiter's potential, what the fuck? That's wild. Jupiter's potential solution to this situation. I'm just tripping right now because this last card that came out, I'm gonna show you guys, out of this whole fucking deck here. Okay, it's a pretty thick ass deck. All right, it has 108 cards. Okay, and the last card that came out is a Sagittarius energy, but another fucking 5. You guys, like, I cannot even make this shit up. I swear on my life, on my son's life, I have not looked at none of the cards, and I purposely did the time lapse so I can, not waste your guys' time, or like, not take a long time doing it. But where you can see that I didn't like just look at them and pick out what I wanted to, put out. But 3 5s here, you guys. 3 5. So fives, like I said, definitely represent change. And all these cards are challenging. Okay, not gonna lie. And so, you know, obviously this reading is talking about, you know, what does a collective need to release, what's challenging us. So it's fitting, but it's definitely a challenge. Okay, like 3 challenging cards, and they all are challenging. So Jupiter's solution here is we have the card Imagine, card 20. So the numbers 20, 15, 5, obviously, 15 again, 10, maybe a significance to some of you. Maybe that may be a life path, a birthday, something like that. The 20th of this month may be of significance, as well as the 15th. Okay, so we have card Imagine here, and then we have Yarn. Okay, so the potential solution here is some of you, it's like there's a lot of working pieces here. There's a lot of like a lot of factors, like a lot of layers that play into this, but I feel like it's going to be really important for you guys. Jupiter's solution here, potential solution, is to imagine. So I feel like what Jupiter is saying there is imagine how you wish it went, how you wish a situation went, or how you wish that things were, versus how your 3D is currently showing you. Okay. Because a lot of people aren't really in this, and it makes sense because we're conditioned to not know that information on purpose, right? But a lot of people don't really know, they're not really fully aware, or even if they have a clue or they've heard it before, they're not still to their own, like in their own experience. A lot of us aren't fully aware as to how far are really, like how powerful our imagination really is, how far our potential really goes, how far our power really reaches. Okay. So Jupiter's solution here is, you know, understanding that this is complicated, but knowing that you have the ability to imagine the life that you want. And by you continuing to let that be your point of focus over what you currently see in your reality is what's going to really propel you forward. It's really what's going to help you get to the next level. It's really what's going to help you work out the situation. You know what I'm saying? So for some of you, you know, something maybe doesn't have to completely end. If this is like a connection that's maybe some of you are taking a break on currently, maybe things don't have to be completely over, but for some of you, it's about, you know, that something has to change. Okay. Where some of you have been maybe feeling suffocated by a person, or feeling like you can't speak, you can't express, you can't fully maybe be your authentic self. Something needs to definitely change here. It's giving me, I mean, it says earn here with death. It's giving me Scorpio energy. So some of you may be dealing with Scorpio, may be a Scorpio. But it's like something needs to end for something to restart, you know, kind of like wiping the slate clean type of energy here that I feel like will really be beneficial for some of you. So let's jump into the tarot real quick. So it's like that could have been a reading right there in itself. So, but let's continue. So Spirit for the collective. Let's clarify the first row for what is Jupiter asking the collective to release. And for some of you, this has to do with a mindset. Okay, some of you, this has to do with the way you think about things, because poverty is in here. Okay, so some of you, what you're being asked to release is maybe the way you grew up. For those of you, like a lot of us, grew up with, you know, parents that came from a poverty mindset, or, you know, like I said, depend on your generation. Like my grandparents came from the Great Depression, so they instilled, you know, our parents with the mindset of we got to hold on to everything, and we got to keep everything, and don't waste anything, don't let anything go. You know what I'm saying? That's that lack mindset, right? And so for some of you, collective, can really relate to that. For some of you, even if that's not your generation, that mindset, that vibration has still carried throughout your bloodline. Okay, and some of you can still identify with that mindset, that lack mentality. Okay, that poverty, you know, that like I can't do better, or that I have to hold on to everything even though I'm being guided to release it. Even if I don't want it, I should hold on to it because I don't know if it's going to be replaced. You know what I'm saying? That's lacking faith that the universe will always take care of our needs, always provide for us, right? That anything we need to get rid of will be replaced with something better and more in alignment, whatever that might be. So for some of you with this Dare to Dream, This could definitely have to do with your money and finances, given that we're talking about Jupiter energy. But for some of you, this is also talking about just the type of life you want to have, the type of life you want to experience. Okay. The life that you dream of, having. Some of you are really being challenged at this time, but it's challenging you because it's wanting you to release things. For some of you, it's feeling like such a challenge at this time. And given all the fives coming out is, because it's like, there's definitely need to be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. But this is also remembering how powerful you are, that you are the creator of your reality. So what you focus on is what amplifies. So if you're tired of seeing, your dreams not coming to fruition, or the things you've been asking for that should have happened already, or you deserve to experience, it's needing to change your state. Change a state of being. For some of you, it's needing to really change states, meaning moving from one state to another, because a lot of people don't even know that that's why they call them states, because they're different states of being, meaning that when you travel to different places, you wonder why the vibe feels different, because it's a state of being, right? So you can imagine yourself anywhere in the world, right? If you imagine it, next thing you know, you can be there. And that's what Neville Goddard talked a lot about. So before I go on a tangent in a whole nother direction, for some of you, that is what this is also about, okay? Is that you guys have new beginnings coming, but there's old mindsets that some of you are needing to release, old narrative, old way of thinking that is playing tricks on you, making you feel like you can't have something, or making you feel like what you want is too far out of reach, or it's just too much, it's too big, it's too grand for you to have. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Oh, chat. All right, Spirit, clarify what Jupiter wants the collective to release. What is Jupiter asking the collective to release as it pertains to this spread? All right, what do we got? Ooh, Ace of Cups. Okay. So for some of you, this is definitely talking about love. Okay. For some of you, this is, maybe someone that you love, someone that you had a lot of feelings for, a lot of emotions. For some of you, this could have been someone that you just met. Okay, or just things started off fresh with, and maybe this person just all of a sudden things ended, or maybe they transitioned. And that sometimes happens. I'm learning that there's always like a higher meaning behind why things happen, why things play out the way they do. And, it's our shadow self that takes it personal, that makes it feel like it's us, or that we did something to deserve that, or that, we must not meant to be happy, or we must not meant to be parents or something, because when a child dies, or we keep having miscarriages or something like that, we take it personal, we think it's us, not realizing there's a whole nother aspect to that, which is like that other spirit, they're part of the contract, right? Sometimes they change their minds. Sometimes spirit just decides that, you know what, we were going to do this, but now we're switching the plan. You know what I'm saying? And it's our shadow self that likes to take things personal. It makes it, that we did, wants to internalize it as if we did something wrong because something got taken, that we didn't get what we wanted, right? Not realizing there's a higher meaning behind all of it. Okay. So for some of you, Jupiter is asking you to release maybe something that is done, that maybe you're having a hard time letting go of, or, breaking up with, or whatever that is, because there's new love coming in. Okay. Some of you are blocking new love that could actually be, a fresh new start, someone that you've been asking for, but some of you aren't letting it in because you're still not over something that has already ended, something that's already done. Okay. Like I said, that's not for everyone, but, take the messages as they apply. So some of you are maybe maybe wanting new love, but it's maybe not coming in because you're not being the match that you want in someone else. Because the thing is, a lot of us, again, weren't taught that you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So if you are a person who, doesn't love themselves that much, or doesn't give themselves the type of time and attention that they need, they don't really take care of themselves very well, things like that, you're going to attract a like partner that doesn't give you the time that you need, that doesn't cater to you, that doesn't take you out, doesn't check on you to make sure you've eaten today, or whatever those things are, that you want out of that, a lot of people appreciate out of a partner. If you're not already doing those things for yourself, you're only going to attract someone who's showing you where you're slacking on loving yourself first. Okay. So for some of you, this is releasing old situations, old way of thinking, doing, being, even old connections that no longer work, in order for you to really love yourself properly, to restore that love for you that maybe you didn't get from someone else, that you know you should have had, that you know you deserve to have. But if they simply didn't give it, it's not because you didn't deserve it. It's because they didn't have it for themselves. So if they didn't have it to give, how could they give it to you? You see what I'm saying? It's like having a bottle of water that's empty. I can't give you any water because I don't have any. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's literally the same fucking thing. That is actually the perfect example for this, because the cups represent our emotions. That is the water. The water, like the element of water, represents our emotions. That is also your creative energy, your creative life force. Okay. That's why our bodies are made up of what I believe 75%, if not more, of water. Okay. So some of you are being asked to, release things that make you, lack love for yourself. Okay. For others of you, this is releasing something that has been over with, or a breakup, or whatever that is, in order to let love in. Okay. So let's see. Jupiter, let's clarify what is challenging the collective at this time. Ooh. So we have the moon here. Okay. So come through, spirit, come through. So I was just talking about that, the water, the moon, that's the creative energy. Okay. As well. That is the darkness, the feminine energy, which is also what the water represents, the feminine energy. So for some of you, this may have to do with the mother figure. Some of you may have some mother wounds that maybe you're needing to heal through or deal with. I know for sure myself, I'm still working on things with my mother, who is still here, but life growing up with her was very challenging. And my dad was gone a lot of the time, out to sea, being in the Navy, active duty and all that. So it was her and I a lot, and I didn't have siblings. So, when she would come at me for certain things, or I would get in trouble for certain things, especially at a very young age, there was nobody there to protect me, or nobody there to, help her see it in a different aspect, or a different light, that her way of dealing with it or coping with, the situation, there's a better way. So, for some of you, these are, again, limiting things. These are things, hidden emotions, okay? Because that's what the moon represents. Things that we hide, things that are underneath the surface, can represent our thoughts, our limiting beliefs. The moon also represents the subconscious mind, which is also correspondent with the day of the moon. That's why the moon day, I call it moon days. That's why Mondays are great, beautiful days to do shadow work, okay? To dive into your subconscious mind and what lies underneath all the things that we hide, the things that we show people, what is really underneath that. Okay. That's why your moon sign, knowing what your moon sign is so important, because that's the part of us that we kind of hide from the world. The sun sign represents what you show people, the side of you that how we present ourselves. But the moon sign is what you really, what's real, what's authentic, what's, what you hide from other people out of fear of judgment, fear of persecution, okay, fear of, being silenced in some type of way, fear of people trying to hold you down or hold you back in some type of way. So some of you are being challenged. Some of you, this really has to do with your mindset. Some of you have a more poverty mindset or lack mindset that still needs to be worked through. And that isn't a bad thing, because awareness is the first step. You know what I'm saying? Coming to awareness of what the fucking problem is. If you don't know what the problem is, if you don't even know there is a problem, how would you know that there's an alternative solution to that problem, right? So this is, for me, giving this message is very powerful. And I pray that whoever needs the message receives it, because, shit ain't easy. As I drink my big ass gallon of water. So yeah, let's keep going. So yeah, some of you, this definitely has to do with your subconscious beliefs, things that you grew up believing, hearing about money, like money is the root of all evil, that type of bullshit. Those are the type of things that some of you are being challenged at this time to address, okay, to really do your shadow work. Some of you, that is exactly what this reading is about. Shadow work, your limiting beliefs, what you believe about money, okay, how you grew up believing about money. Now it's time to change narrative, okay? Dare to dream, dare to believe that I could be the first multi-billionaire in my family, and I won't be the last. That's a hellified big ass dream, right? But when you work on your subconscious beliefs around that, that won't seem big at all. According to Jupiter, that ain't big enough. Okay, so let's clarify this last row for Jupiter's potential solution. So Jupiter for the collective, what is the potential solution as it pertains to the spread? Potential solution. For the collective. What is the potential solution here for the collective, please? Heal. Four of Swords. This is representative of meditating, okay? That goes hand in hand, right? What I talked about when I first pulled this card earlier, when we first flipped it over, I said this is a air. Oh, no, that was the dare to dream, air. But imagine is too, okay? And here we are with the Four of Swords. So again, this still has to do it all with mindset first. So this is a heavy message for the collective about your mindset, the way you think of things, the way you view your life, okay? The way you, for some of you, it's like a made up story. Some of you, this is like something that you've made up in your mind that this is impossible because of this, because it'll take too long. Who said that? Who projected that onto you? Who told you that it would take too long? You see what I'm saying? That's something I've had to even ask myself, right? Not believing that I could have something because I feel like it'll take too long to create. Like, I want this, but that'll take like eons to happen type of thing, right? Who told you that? Or did you make that up? See what I'm saying? So for some of you, that's part of your solution. Think about, ask yourself, what are your beliefs around money? Or what are your beliefs around, luck? What luck means to you, or growth, or whatever it is that's surrounding this Jupiter energy. Jupiter saying, ask yourself, what are your beliefs around, these different things? What do you feel is blocked? All the things, corresponding to Jupiter. What are your beliefs? And then ask yourself, where did all those beliefs come from? Try to do your best to think back to the first time you had that belief, or that belief came up, and think about if you heard someone else say it. If you saw someone else, respond in that way, or do that, or tell you that you can have something because of this reason. You see what I'm saying? So for some of you, it's like that was just someone, maybe, and that's part of what I feel like this is too, is that for some of you, you maybe asked your parent, like, can I have this thing? And they told you, like, no, because I don't have enough money for that. Even though they did have enough money, they just didn't want to buy it, right? But that was the excuse they gave you. So then you grew up thinking that I'm not worthy, or that, things are too expensive, or I can't have what I want, because I always got told no. You see what I'm saying? So for some of you, that's kind of what this is about, but still, that's still something made up. For some of you, again, that's a parent or someone that played mind games, wanted you to believe that, and it was a control tactic, right? That's not for everyone, but for some of you, like, people are really that fucking evil, but that's, part of the contract. That's some shit our soul signed up for to experience in this lifetime. So some of you, the solution is healing, okay? Going within, meditating, getting clear, right? The swords represent our thoughts. So getting clear about what these beliefs are. What are the made up stories that we have? Where did they come from? Right? And then start, moment to moment, working through when those thoughts come up again. That's not true though. But is it true? Even asking or challenging yourself in that way. When these thoughts come up, well, I can't, that'll take a long time. And then ask yourself right after that, but is that true? How do you know? You see what I'm saying? When you start challenging your shadow, that aspect of you that wants to make you feel like you can't have what you want, or that you need to, stay small because, you can't get any bigger, right? Start challenging that voice that tells you that you can't have this or you can't have that. Start challenging that shit, right? Look, Five of Swords, right at the top of the deck. Again, this card in itself represents mind games, okay? So for some of you, that's what these birds represent, is all the messages that people have said into your ear, the things that people have told you that made you think that you can have this or that have been like, what? Like, that don't even make sense, right? But you believed it because you didn't have another thought to replace it with. But now is the time where you're being challenged to think a different thought. And that is what's going to change your reality, all right? So let's dive into our supportive messages from our most benevolent and healed ancestors and spirit teams, okay? So we have Ostara, incubation, okay? So message of support here is that, your dreams or whatever it is you're asking for, they're currently cooking, okay? But it's a matter of nurturing. Continue to nurture what it is you're asking for. Okay, continue to know that also, that while you're in this space of maybe feeling like a newborn baby, or feeling like I'm just freshly coming into this new life, or I'm still, growing and developing and learning, that you are protected as you go through this process. Okay, some of you are going through a major like transformation. Some of you, this is maybe the death of your own shadow. For some of you, that is exactly what this represents. For some of you, this has nothing to do with another person at all. Some of you, this unfinished symphony is the lessons that you haven't integrated, the part of yourself that is still living, that needs to die. And I don't mean obviously physically, I mean metaphorically speaking. And I know, and I'm telling you this from experience, that I've done at least 2 death rituals for myself, basically designed to kill that old version that I know is, weak, or, in a victim mindset, or, that believes that, I can't have what I desire and what I deserve, especially if I know I'm a good fucking person and I have pure intentions. Like, why could I not experience these things? You know what I'm saying? So for some of you, that's what Jupiter is talking about here. Okay. For the collective, is that some of us, there are some of us that need to dismantle this old version of ourselves. Okay. This old version that is still, kicking and living and screaming, trying not to go down without a fight. Right. But it's stagnating us. It's stifling our growth. It's, hindering our progress in some type of way. Okay. So your ancestors are letting you know that your dreams are actually just waiting for you to let them in. Okay. But some of you, need to wrap your mind around what's possible. There's still, for some of you, some healing to do surrounding your thoughts. Your thought process is kind of keeping it at bay. And and that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. It's like your ancestors, your spirit guides are doing you a favor in that, because they're making you wait to where when they do give you your blessing, you're not going to fuck it up and then be mad that it's gone as soon as it came in. You see what I'm saying? So they're really doing you a favor. And when I came to that conclusion, like shit years ago about certain things, it was just like, damn, like I'm so grateful, that I used to get upset about, why is this taking so long? How come I don't have it yet? Da da da. You know what I'm saying? Getting all upset, blaming someone else, pointing the finger when when you point, there's 3 pointing back, right? And I was just like, fuck. And I used to get so upset, but then I realized, like, holy shit, like they're making sure that when the blessing comes, that I don't fuck it off. I'd rather, it's like, would you rather get given $1 million to just get that taste of it and then it be gone the next day? Or would you wait 10 more years and get $18 million and be able to keep it and grow it? You see what I'm saying? It's like, I'd rather wait 10 years and know that by then I'll have the fucking mindset for it. I'll be prepared. I'll be ready. You know what I'm saying? I've done all my healing. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be time. And when you get it, you'll thrive. Right? So, all right. So messages from the ancestors. Ooh, rejuvenation plant. Card 23. I can't make this shit up, you guys. I can't make it up. 23. Okay, another fucking 5. This shit is wild. This is wild. I've been like all these 5s showing up here. 5 of Swords. 23 is a 5. Okay, 5, 5, 5. So like I said, this is heavy fucking changes, collective. Heavy changes at this time. Okay, so some of you are being guided. Your ancestors are asking you to get outside. Okay, maybe get some plants, put some plants in your space. I love getting flowers, not receiving from other people necessarily, even though that's okay too. But I like buying myself flowers because I love being able to like not only put my own bouquets together, like I like to buy at least 3 different bouquets and then I'll cut them up, and thank the nature spirits before I just, fuck up their whole life and, whatever, and have the fae, come for me. But I like to get like 3 different bouquets and cut them up, and take all the, the leaves off the stems and stuff like that, and then mix them to make different bouquets in my space. So I'll have like a small bouquet for my desk. I'll have a small bouquet on my altar. I'll have another bouquet for my ancestors' altar. And then I also make a bouquet for my mom. So, that's my way of, kind of spreading that positive, creative, loving, uplifting energy, throughout the space. So some of you though are being guided to, get out in nature. Okay. Connect with nature, get out in the plants, put your feet in the dirt, go hug a fucking tree. That is not weird. I always recommend asking, okay, getting permission, because trees are just like people. They have a spirit and energy too. And so you would want to check and see, are they okay with you hugging them? You know what I mean? given that you're coming to them for wisdom or whatever they, have to give. You're not going to just walk up to an elder and just hug them without getting their permission to know it's okay first, right? So you want to treat them with that same respect. So anyway, do what you want. Free will is a thing, but don't say I didn't warn you. So now tarot cards that came out for this is the Emperor and the Crown Chakra. Okay, so structure, discipline, leadership. Okay, so messages from the ancestors. It's about stepping into your power. Okay, stepping into that divine masculine energy. Start embodying, you being in the driver's seat of your life, envisioning the success that you want to have. For some of you have dreams to be a fucking boss, to be your own boss, to maybe be a CEO of an amazing, thriving, successful company. So this is saying, connect to spirit with the crown chakra, clear your crown chakra, meaning you need to make that connection to receive the downloads, to trust the process, because when your crown chakra is blocked, you have a hard time receiving not only guidance from your ancestors and your spirit team and the Most High, but you also have a hard time trusting, the process, trusting the guidance that you receive, but also trusting, the steps and the way life is playing out for you. Okay, so your supportive message from our ancestors and spirit guides is about, asking for what it is that you need, but needing to allow yourself to trust what you're receiving. Okay, know that your spirit team is always going to guide you. They're always going to have your best interests in mind, but this is also about getting in the driver's seat of your own life, taking back control. Okay, creating a structure, getting disciplined in your routines if you have them. If not, this is about establishing them. Okay, and I don't know where to start. This is how you start, connecting to your higher self, connecting to the Most High, because that is what's going to give you, because guess what? The Most High knows you best. Your highest self knows you best. So that means that the whatever type of routine that you may need that might best work for you, this is how you're gonna uncover that information and how to put that together. Okay, it's not gonna always come from it. And don't get me wrong, like I do it as well, where sometimes I'll look at other people's routines to get inspiration, to get inspired, to give me ideas that I can then create into my own, or take little bits and pieces and parts to make my own. But for some of you, this is about channeling that information through your own crown, so that whatever routine that I'm being guided to create is specifically tailored to me. Why? Because I channeled that shit. It came directly from the Most High, directly from my higher self that knows me the best, that knows me better than I know my damn self, right? That's where that guidance is coming from. So this is also about trusting it. Okay, taking time again to go within, taking time to meditate, taking time, okay, to tap in to your intuition, that subconscious mind of yours. Okay, do the healing. It's about doing the work, right? Taking a break, relaxing, resting, taking time to just lay the fuck down and imagine, what do I want? What would my life look like if I had everything I needed? If money wasn't a problem, or money wasn't even an issue, what type of life would I live? Right? Really take the time to think about those things. Okay. So collective, that's what I have for you. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please smash that thumbs up button real hard for me. Consider subscribing if you have not, and until next time.